basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Last day of the trade deadline and the Warriors have not made any moves so far. Fans are hoping for changes to give the squad a new dynamic for the remainder of the season. Warriors are trying to trade Chris Paul. Golden State Warriors are on the brink of the trade deadline, and it feels like something has got to give if the franchise wants to break back into serious contention this season. The deals out there are limited for all teams, including Golden State, particularly if the Chicago Bulls and Brooklyn Nets choose to remain idle. However, there are some moves around the edges the Dubs might be able to swing that could incrementally improve the roster and give them a shot to scratch out a playoff berth and do some subsequently damage to the Western Conference elite. Stephen No of the Sporting News examined a handful of potential trades for the Warriors on Monday, February 5. One of the most intriguing is a deal in which Golden State acquires Bojan Bogdanovic of the Detroit Pistons. The Warriors need wing help, and Bogdanovic is one of the most talented scorers available there. The 6'7" gunner is averaging 20.2 points this season while hitting 41.5% of his threes. Bogdanovic is much more than just a shooter, though. He has a good post game and his feel for moving away from the ball is outstanding. He was part of some great Utah Jazz offenses and had some phenomenal playoff performances. Steph Curry hasn't had enough scoring help this season. Klay Thompson is second on the team in points per game at just 17.3. Bogdanovic could give the team a more reliable movement shooter with better shot selection. The Pistons are literally the worst team in the NBA with just 6 wins through 49 games as of Wednesday afternoon, roughly 24 hours before the passing of the league's trade deadline. As such, Detroit shouldn't be loath to move Bogdanovic, though his price becomes the sticking point. No suggested the Warriors offer a first-round pick and an expiring salary to complete the deal. The Pistons can clear that money off the books ahead of next season and use the space to move forward with new talent. The Dubs have a 2028 first-rounder, to which they could add a protection of some sort, top 10 or lottery, whatever both sides can agree to. Point guard Chris Paul and his $30.8 million expiring deal would almost certainly be the contract moving from Golden State to the Motor City, though doing so would require the Pistons to throw in another player to make the money work. Bogdanovic is playing in the first season of a 2-year, $39 million deal and carries a cap hit of $20 million in 2023-24. He will count for just over $19 million next season, though his contract only partially guarantees that amount. As for defense, Bogdanovic isn't a world beater. However, No pointed out that the 34-year-old does have some chops on that end of the floor. Bogdanovic isn't a great defender, but he does compete on that end of the floor, turning his game up in the playoffs, No wrote. He's held his own in some surprising matchups, such as hounding LeBron James earlier in his career while with the Indiana Pacers.